Welcome back. Thanks so much for joining me for How to Have a Tea Party. This is part 2, so let's go ahead and jump in and get started right where we left off. Alright, so the next post that I'm going to do usually tells people what a t-shirt party is. Some people have never heard of this. It's very similar to what we do with other companies, like maybe Tupperware companies or jewelry companies or bag companies. So I just want to let people know a little bit about the party. I let them know that friends will be joining. I let them know that there are going to be t-shirts that they can shop from. I let them know that every shirt that they order is going to help their hostess earn free shirts. And if there's something that they love or something that they want to see, that they can comment. I also post order forms. You can use Google Forms or any other format that you have, or you can just have people comment on the picture that they want. That makes it a little more time consuming, but that is one way that you can do it. I talk about how long it takes me to process my orders, which is about 10 to 14 business days is my personal turnaround, and that gives everyone an idea of how long that they can expect before they get their shirts. Playing games is a great way to interact with your hostess and with her friends, so I also explain that, hey, we're going to play some games. If you interact, you have a chance to be entered into a drawing to win some cool benefits. And I'll be sure to show you some different game ideas later on in this tutorial. A really good pointer for sales is always be aware that there are some people that window shop. They might not have it in their budget to participate right now, but they could turn into a hostess for you. So I always want to include that, hey, if you're not ready to shop or if you want to earn free shirts on your own, that you can be a hostess, and that will help the current hostess and that will allow this person to get free shirts themselves. It's a win-win situation, and it brings you more retail sales in the end. There are a lot of different ways that you can set up your reward system. Some people will have a system where if your hostess has 3 of her friends book a party from their party, then your hostess will receive 1 free t-shirt at each party or will receive a 50% discount at each party that her friend has. There's so many ways you can do it, whatever works for your finances and for your budget and for your marketing. A lot of times I get asked, how do you decide what a hostess is going to earn for free or what her rewards will be? And how do you determine the giveaways? So really that just depends on where you're starting out and what your budget is and what you're financially willing to give out. So a lot of times for my hostesses, I will either do when she has sold 8 shirts, she can get 1 free. Or if she sold 10 shirts from her party, then she can get 1 free. And I always want my hostesses to buy more. So I give them a little encouragement and they get to earn 30% off of anything that they order beyond their free. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and add the photo that I like to add to this post just to give it some attention so people can find it easily and kind of get an intro to what they're fixing to read on my post. And this is What is a Tea Party? And it says, a tea party is a super fun way to buy awesome high quality shirts that you're sure to love, discounted prices, giveaways, and help your hostess earn free shirts too. So it's just a cute little sneak peek into the post that they're fixing to read. These promotional photos that I use, you can find them online, but they are super easy to make in programs like Canva. I do a ton of my designing in Canva. So for this one, you could just go grab a background, a mock t-shirt background or any background that you wanted, and then add your wording to it. It can be custom wording. I'm going to try to make a bundle on Etsy for my tea party logos and tea party pictures, so that way that will be all in one spot. But always feel free to design your own or use your own. There's really no right or wrong way to do this. You throw it together for what you like best. But if you want things that are already pre-designed and you just want to grab it and go, I will do my best to have a link to Etsy so you can just buy everything in one stop. And I'm going to add my hashtag so anyone in this party can easily go back and find this information with some keywords. Okay, after it has posted, I like to go back and just scroll down and make sure that it is where I want it to be on the page, that it shows up correctly. All right, and after it's posted, just scroll down to make sure that it is looks good on your page. It's where you want it. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and every important post that I've posted so far, which is like my informational post, I'm going to pin them to featured. That way they're at the top of the page, they're at the top of the party, so that when a new person joins the party, they will have all the information right up top. So click on the three dots and then click on pin to featured, and then it'll show up at the top. So go through and do that for all of your informational posts. All right, after I have featured all of these, I'm going to go right up here where it says most relevant. And I'm going to change that to where it says new post, because I want all the new posts to show first, like the most recent post to show first. All right, and you can go up to the featured section and hit the arrow over, scroll through everything that you have pinned to feature to make sure that it's there and everything looks good. All right, now my next informational post is going to be about pricing. So this is where you're going to give your information on how much your shirts cost. This is where I give a reminder that everything is kind of pinned in the featured, like all the important posts. I share here about the quality of my product, that the designs for sublimation will last the lifetime of the garment. So if they take care of the garment, the design will last forever. It doesn't crack or peel like some other alternatives that sit on top of the shirt. I tell a little bit about the materials that I use, like 50% to 100% polyester, just to give a little insight and to let them know that they are getting a high quality item. And in this actual one, I mentioned that I do screen print transfers, which I really don't do those much anymore for my tea parties, but whatever service that you offer, you go ahead and put it right here and talk about the quality of your product and about the materials that you might use. I also sometimes right here will put the party special, just because we are talking about pricing. Now I'm going to go ahead and add my pricing image. It just reiterates the price and gives them a visual that they can see. All right, I'm going to go ahead and edit my photos, and I just want to move them around because I want the pricing to be the first thing that they see, the pricing with the pink background, and just to catch their eye. And then I'm going to put my party special up there, and then the actual pricing graphic that I have, that's just something that I made in Canva with my prices and my shipping cost. And once it's posted, I again go down and scroll to make sure that it appears how I want it to appear and the pictures are in the order that I want. And I'm going to go ahead and pin this one to featured also, since it's an important informational post. All right, I take one last check at my featured post. And once you feel like you have the bases covered, congratulations, you have all of your important posts ready. Now you can start posting the fun stuff. So I always let my hostesses pick the first 3 categories that go out. That helps get the party going. So for this example, I'm just going to use the mom or the mom life category. I'm going to pretend that Jenny, my hostess, picked mom life as some t-shirts that she wanted to see. So of course you don't have to put all of these descriptions. You don't have to put mom of both and mom life and homeschool mom. These are just some examples of different categories that you can use. And then I put right here that this is my hostess category pick, And if there were more that you would like to see, please comment and request it. Depending on when I'm doing my tea party, if I'm doing it when I have a lot of downtime and I can get on my computer, or if I'm on the go and I need to do it while I'm out and about and do it from my phone, I do it a few different ways. So for this instance, I'm showing you that what I did was I went ahead and saved a file, created a file with predetermined pictures. So these are pictures or mock-ups that I either have made already or that I might have gotten offline like Etsy or similar places like that. And what I'll do is I'll go on Etsy or my personal mock-ups and save the image to a folder. And then I can just go straight to that folder for that certain category and pick the ones that I want to advertise in my tea party. So I've done this both ways. I've given a few options, maybe 10 to 20 shirts, and I've given up to 100 shirts per album. Sometimes it seems overwhelming. Sometimes your customers want to see more. So it's really hard to tell. You get a lot of mixed opinions on, oh, only offer them 10, or no, offer them 20, or offer them a lot. You can kind of gauge your clients and your friends. If you can tell that they are wanting to see more, then go for it and add more to the album. If you want to start off with 20 or 30 designs, that's fine too. Whatever you feel comfortable offering, whatever you feel comfortable purchasing. If you find designs on Etsy that you might want to purchase, go ahead and do those. You don't have to put every single design that you see up there. Pick the ones that you know that you are willing to buy and the ones that you're willing to make and the ones that are going to look best on the shirts that you're offering. And another tip to keep in mind is if you find a mock-up on Etsy, you don't have to buy it. You can just put it in your favorites, maybe heart it and save it, and then come back to it if you have someone that actually wants to buy it. So what you're doing right now is just giving them some items to look at, some advertisement to see if they have an interest. You don't have to spend a ton of money buying designs off Etsy or other websites. You're just giving a preview to see what they would like. So go ahead and post those pictures, and then you will have your first category so that your friends can start shopping. All right, so let's do our next pretend post, and this one is going to be theoretically my second hostess pick, and I'm going to say that my hostess picked a faith category, a faith-based category. I do try to include images for men, women, and children. If you don't want to offer children's shirts, that's fine. Or if you don't want to offer men designs, that's fine too. But I try to keep it as inclusive as possible to help increase sales. And in an actual tea party, these posts that you see for the t-shirt designs and the different categories, these are scheduled out at least an hour or two apart, depending on how many categories I have, depending on how many people are joining the party or how quickly people are joining. Sometimes I will put them out as close as 30 minutes apart, but I try to keep them out at least an hour apart. That way the guests that are viewing it are not getting overwhelmed, and it gives them time to go back and look at the post where they're not having to scroll through so many posts to catch up. It just spaces it out and lets the party work and flow at a nice slow pace. All right, so for my faith shirts, I just picked what I want out of my file folder like I did the last category. And I always try to add in my post that if there's something specific that they want to see, so like with the faith-based shirts, if they have a special song or a special Bible verse or a special saying that they want to see, I would love for them to comment, because their comments is what is going to fuel the sales. We are trying to provide for the demand of the client. So whatever they're shopping for, that's what you want to try to provide. All right, and that one has posted. So again, like usual, I'm just going to go double check that it actually posted and it looks how I want it to look on my page. All right, and the last category that I'm going to show just as my pretend hostess pick is going to be sports. That's a popular one that a lot of people like to see. And I'm going to make sure that I add my hashtag so that it can be easily found. And then I'm going to go back to my files and find the file folder that I've already pre-selected for sports. And again, these are files and mock-ups that I have either previously made that I saved to my computer, or that I went to a website like Etsy or another design website, and I am just saving or downloading the mock-ups to use as advertisement. You don't have to buy all of these. You can kind of treat it like a pre-sale, kind of show something that you can do, and then once somebody purchases it, then you can go and actually purchase the design yourself. And again, it is always super important to ask for requests on every post, because there may be a sport that you did not share that someone might want to see. They might want to see football or baseball or volleyball. They may request a certain team or custom wording for a school team. So always let them know that you do take requests. And just as a reminder, I do advise on using that schedule button instead of posting right away, and schedule these out at least an hour apart. So just scroll down and make sure your post came through how you want it to. Make sure it is appearing on the page and that your pictures are showing up. All right, now I'm going to show you an example of a game. I always include at least 2 games in my tea parties. This first one is going to be for 10% off of a t-shirt. You can choose whatever you want the door prize to be. I just like to keep it simple and keep it affordable, but also get the guest excited. There are hundreds of different interactive games that you can look up on the internet. This is one that's really fun. It's using only gifts. Comment how you know the hostess. Some people that do have the internet and do have Facebook aren't savvy enough, or they don't know how to use their gifts. So I always say, even if you just comment how you know your hostess, but the gifts make it really funny and very interactive. All right, so I just posted that. Now I'm going to scroll through and make sure it looks how I want it to look on the page. And then you wait for the friends of the hostess to start commenting on that. Usually I will let the games run for about a day, and then I'll draw a winner. So after you have everyone that's participated, after they've commented, you go back in and you can write down their names. And then what I do is I use this wheel of names. You can just find it from Googling it. It's just an easy way to draw a winner. So what you do is at the bottom, you scroll down and you can enter everyone's names. So I'm just going to make up a few names here and put it in. And then as it adds to the wheel, you'll see the names start to appear. And it can hold a lot of names. So if you have a lot of participants, that's totally fine. Just enter them in the box that is on the website. All right, after you have entered all your names, you're going to click on the wheel to spin it, and it will slowly stop and you'll have your winner. Now, I always screen record this on my phone or my computer so that I can show the guest, and then the winner will pop up and it'll have a little celebration. And then this is the part that I screen record with the spinning, and then I post it on a post, and I'll show you how to do that next. All right, just follow the link to my next video. We're going to stop right here for just a minute, and as soon as the next video starts, that will show you how to upload your video to show your winner, and we'll finish out the rest of the tea party in part 3. So if you'll just click the link above, and that will take you to part 3 for the tea party. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if this has been helpful. Have a blessed day.